All right. We are here. Hopefully we're on. All right. Welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago. And today we are here to talk about what went down on Monday Night Raw when they hit the Netflix airwaves with a show that continued to march towards a live event, aka Saturday Night Main Event, and of course, SummerSlam. What went down as Roman and Brock showed up for work? Did Chad Gable win the Gauntlet? Well, based on the title of this video, yes. Don't even know. I should have said it the other way around. Anyway, I want to get into it because Brock Lesnar kicked off the program. Brock Lesnar entered the American Airlines Arena because we were in Dallas, Texas for, of course, Monday's show, accompanied by his advocate, Paul Heyman. A swarm of police followed suit. Obsession was the theme of tonight's opening promo. Heyman called out Femi for being obsessed with Lesnar before admitting that the Beast Incarnate is obsessed with the ruler facing him inside of a Hell in a Cell. Honestly, what's starting to get to me is that Mariah Carey is in my head. Anyway, enough of this obsession because the real obsession... Why are you looking at me like that? No, I'm It is against that backdrop that the advocate filed for a restraining order against Femi, hoping to protect his financial well-being out of SummerSlam. The reigning King of the Ring arrived to the scene anyway and bowled over the police officers before exclaiming, "You can't run from Oba Femi." We have heard the Lesnar-Heyman side of things before, with the interesting twist of the former's obsession with Femi brought up for the first time. This was all about Oba, though, who continues to answer the call and deliver some extraordinary mic work. He was fiery, made his point, and had fans roaring as he wrapped things up. B+. The fans in Dallas were overwhelmingly in favor of Femi, raining down with Oba. I trust and believe. And also, he also explained why he chose not to go for a title opportunity, because he knew that Lesnar would eventually cost him anyway. It's not a perfect explanation, but it's about damn time the King of the Ring offer up something, like why did he give it up? I know this match is going to be fucking great. It's obviously going, and it feels like it's going to be Brock Lesnar's last match. So yeah, I do hope that this build-up is worth it. On the plus side of things, it's a B+. I really enjoyed it. I was with Oba all the way. Brock Lesnar showing up finally helps out, but it's more of a passing of the torch moment at this point. Brock wants Oba to kind of, be the next, big thing. Next big thing, yeah. So we jumped into some in-ring action through two segments, basically, in this. Io Sky won the battle Monday night, defeating Roxanne Perez in a competitive matchup, but lost the war when the women's world champion Liv Morgan left her lying ahead of their upcoming clash at SummerSlam. Now, Io Sky overcame a left knee injury dealt by Morgan and escalated Monday night by Perez to counter a roll-up for the win. After the match, though, she endured a 3-on-1 beatdown until women's IC champion Sol Ruca made the save, or at least tried to. Raquel Rodriguez actually took her out, and it basically set up with Morgan and Perez grabbing Io, holding her, and Liv Morgan saying, "You'll never get this," and then hit her with the title. Ultimately, it comes down at SummerSlam that Io needs to take the fucking title from Liv. WWE made the sad fucking mistake of taking the title off of Stephanie Vakir, who we have not seen at all, for that matter. Where the fuck is she coming back? Gotta let us know at some point, right? Fuck. But she should have never won the title at WrestleMania, because her title run has been completely dull, and all she's been doing is trying to help her friends with air quotes, win the women's tag team titles, which have been going nowhere. And she's been interfering in matches and never actually defended the title. And here's the real true challenger, right? And you got all these other women wrapped up in different storylines that nobody's challenging Liv Morgan. I really start to question the women's roster for Monday Night Raw. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are hurt. Stephanie McKeer is out. Fucking Naomi's out. Like, we need some women on Raw. Because ain't nobody challenging Liv Morgan for shit. So, I hope Io Sky takes the title from Liv, and then it really comes down to what we do next for Io Sky. Anyway, next. The Vision promo. Listen. I read this, and now you guys I gotta be real about this for a second. I read the Bleacher Reports before I put them out on the internet, or before I go on and do this live. Tell me why Bleacher Report. Tell me why Mr. Who did this? Who did this Bleacher Report today? Who did it? Is it Eric? Yeah, Eric. Eric Beeston. Tell me why you graded this an A. Why the fuck is the Vision promo graded an A? It is. Why is it an A? It's a C+ promo at best. It's a C+ promo at best. We've seen Love Triangle storylines like this before. It's nothing new. It is nothing fucking new. So at one point, the whole Otis was about to express his feelings for his longtime associate. That almost made me think that this was a rerun of the Dolph Ziggler Otis with Mandy Rose thing, you know? So that was completely fucking thrown out. Like, there was just nothing. Honestly, like I said, Maxine Dupree, Otis, and Tozawa almost felt like Rosie and the Hurricane when she was like a superhero, you know? And now she feels like a bit of a Dudley boy. And yeah, this whole thing was C+ at best. And it did one thing too. It pissed me off in one part, and they got it right here. Eric Beeson actually wrote it. Braun Breaker has never felt less important in his main roster run than he does right now. And that is an indictment on the part that of the creative team. He is now the third or fourth most important player in a love triangle storyline. All because Logan Paul got injured and they need them to hold the tag team titles. Why did you take the tag team titles off of the Street Profits? I don't know. You still could have done the storyline without the tag team titles. And Paul Heyman's actually really just done with the group at this point. So they need a new leader, a ring leader. So they grab Maxine Dupree. Anyway, Otis and Akira Tozawa interrupt and wanted to confront Dupree about her actions. Otis was about to express his feelings for her. Theory made fun of him, instigated a wild, chaotic brawl that concluded with the big man squashing and depositing Breaker to the floor. Dupree saved Theory, stepping in between them. She manipulated him long enough to deliver for Theory to deliver a low blow. The Vixen embraced Theory and then watches the Vision dealt final blows to the Alpha Academy. And basically destroyed Alpha Academy's fucking credibility. Like as if they had any, because they've been floating around backstage for God knows who, like how long. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck. How long are we going to keep destroying Alpha Academy? At this point, Alpha Academy should take the tag team titles from the Vision. Because that would be a better story to tell. Wouldn't it? Now that you did this. So if this doesn't lead to a tag team match for the tag team titles at SummerSlam, or lead to the ending of the tag team title reign between the Vision, then I really put into question two things. What was the point of this fucking storyline, especially with Braun Breaker's part? And why did we take the titles off the Street Profits to begin? Or why did we take the titles off of the Vision in the first place if we were eventually going to get to the end game here, which was Kira Tozawa and Otis? I don't know, man. There's no tag team division, and I completely call it out. And WWE continues to fail in listening. That's why AEW is beating them in the ratings, sadly. Royce Keys takes on Jimmy Uso. The product of a brawl in the aisles, Royce Keys square off with Jimmy Uso in a rematch from Friday night. Midway through the bout, as Keys mounted a comeback, Jacob Fatu arrived in the arena, wasted little time marching in the square circle. He hit the ring and attacked his former friend, first with his bare hands, then with a steel chair. So this match ended in a DQ, and it only lasted through, I think, a commercial break. One commercial break. They fought and then went to commercial, came back and fought, and then we saw Jacob march his ass to the ring. So, Before Fatu could do any damage to his former friend, Solo Sikoa appeared. He implored his cousin to stop. He suckered the Samoan werewolf in by claiming he was coming home to the bloodline, only to, of course, put the one up and then put the thumb up, because he would then flatten Uso with a Samoan spike. He fired up on Fatu, but the numbers disadvantage proved too great. Finally, LA Knight came out and chased them off with a steel chair. The megastar then picked up a mic and said to get their boy Jay on the line, because there's about to be a fight at Summit in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Because LA Knight's looking to team up with Royce Keys and even Solo Sikoa, who he still does not trust, to battle and put the bloodline goons in the rear view mirror, with everybody saying LA Knight. Yeah. Pitching the idea to SummerSlam. The match was made official by Adam Pearce and will be happening at SummerSlam. It will be Jacob Fatu, Jimmy, and Jay versus LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys. Good. LA Knight looking to strangers and enemies to stand beside him against the bloodline is a great character development in the indicative of how desperate the megastar is too. After this, LA Knight should then focus on the future. He should focus on that Money in the Bank briefcase and becoming world champion, if you know what I mean. It has also been great to see Keys get an increased exposure of late, especially as a big part of this bloodline story. Well, or so. Backstage, Paul Heyman asked the Vision, if Maxine was so spectacular, what do you need me for? Seemingly breaking from the faction. Yep, there we go. So, Paul Heyman's not a part of this faction anymore. Get him the fuck out of there. Right? However, this could be a ploy because Braun Breaker should be winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, and that those plans could possibly fall through. If I was booking, Braun Breaker would win the Money in the Bank briefcase with Paul Heyman still attached to that group. Unfortunately, they really need to die the group down. So really, Braun Breaker needs to disassociate himself from the group too if he ever wants to get a world championship. And we need to elevate our future. So doing Money in the Bank in October seems like the way to do it. However, it really depends on who's winning the briefcase. Moving on, Bayley called out Lyra Valkyria, wanted an answer for her feud. And this one I'm a little bit invested in, tiny bit. A disheveled Lyra Valkyria answered Bayley's call and insulted her, taking serious jabs at her before admitting that every compliment she paid her former tag team partner was a lie. Bayley vowed and added to kick Lyra Valkyria's ass around Madison Square Garden to their list of accomplishments. So we're getting that match at this coming Saturday. The short, focused, and well-executed segment ended with the heel trying for a cheap shot, only for Bayley to counter her. Lyra Valkyria got the best of the Hall of Famer, though, and stood tall to close things out. Valkyria has clearly worked on her promo over the last 12 months because her recent performance on the mic has been great, and there's no difference. The Nikki Cross cosplay looks pretty good. I love the execution here for Lyra Valkyria. She's playing into a she's got a mix of a Nikki Cross, Tatum Paxley kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, she is so, over herself. She's so obsessed, too. Like, she's also so obsessed. Like, I think the performance even drives it to the point where it gets a bigger plus. So, you know what? I'm going to keep it at a B+. I thought about increasing the grade, but I was like, I'm going to keep it at a B+. You guys, for the Vision, that's a C+. We're nicking this down to a C+. It's nothing new. Don't fucking, I'm sorry if fans got emotional about it, but come on. Fucking Otis and Kirizawa have been in the back. You didn't care about them when they were in the back. Then you clearly don't care about, you can't clearly care about them now. The B stays for this match or so because it got us a match for SummerSlam. But yeah, this was pretty good. I like this. The Gauntlet match, ladies and gentlemen. Chad Gable punched his ticket. Oh my God. Chad Gable punched his ticket and is now the next challenger for Penta's IC Championship, outlasting 6 other superstars to cash. I already said that, but the Olympian bested Rusev and All Ego Ethan Page to win the bout and set up a date with the No Fear Luchador in his home state of Minnesota, one of the biggest stages WWE has to offer. While his win was the big news of the bout, it was not the whole story, because there was a standout star in this. Javon Evans, spectacular. Overcoming the Judgment Day, a game with Dragon Lee, and nearly defeating Rusev in a gutsy performance that made up the heart and soul of this match. The fantastic young performer, and the more he gets to impress and build a connection with the audience, the more he is destined to be a star in the WWE. However, he's just building up, and Javon Evans looks like he could be pushed to the moon with a Money in the Bank briefcase with his name on it. The Young OG with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Everybody would be excited. He's definitely another person I want in the match. So, now for Gable and Penta to steal a show, if booked correctly, on one of the shining moments of the former's career. Chad Gable should be looking to win that IC championship at SummerSlam. I'm not making any predictions yet. But the order of eliminations, we started with Mysterio and Hendry. Mysterio picked up a win over Hendry. Evans would defeat Mysterio, adding to this too as well. I don't know if it was mentioned, but Danhausen would show up and he would curse the fuck out of Mysterio. However, it's funny because Dominic was on one turnbuckle, the explosion went off on another, and Danhausen's face said, oh shit. Danhausen will be facing JD McDonough at Saturday Night Main Event this coming Saturday in Madison Square Garden in a no DQ match. So, can't wait for that to happen. Graded B+, and I believe so too, especially since we got another reveal as a Big Cass. If you guys don't remember Big Cass or Cassidy from AEW, Big Cass was a big 7-foot giant who teamed up with a little guy named Enzo, and they were, of course, Team Soft. The realest guys in the room, how you doing? Now, I don't know why he's potentially hyping a August 3rd reveal, or why he's going to show up on August 3rd. Why not show up in Madison Square Garden? You know what I mean? Why not show up there? Why not make a big impact? Why you got to show up at the night after SummerSlam? Like, it's not as important as WrestleMania. Anyway, we move on to Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins contract signing. This is where I changed the grade to an A. There are some certainties in life. Death, taxes, and Seth Rollins beating Roman Reigns' ass every single time. The Visionary told the Tribal Chief as they sat inches apart with the contract for their World Heavyweight title match. They had an exchange of words. Monday night, however, it was Reigns who mastered the mind games and caused the Visionary to snap as he referred to him as number 2 and said he could not walk in his shoes despite his work daddy Triple H basically running the damn place. Rollins attacked Reigns. Then Reigns came back with a Superman punch to drop the world to drop. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna read that again. The wording is so fucked. Rollins attacked Reigns. Roman Reigns would come back and hit him with a Superman punch. Roman Reigns would set up for something, only to get pedigreed and stomped by Rollins to close out the show. The segment was fine. It was not long-winded. The champion played mind games with Rollins. It was a nice touch, given how often the scenario has been flipped. Whether he can manage to accomplish that in the middle of their upcoming match while not allowing the Architect to affect him is in question. Roman Reigns also going to meet with Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden. So, needless to say, Rollins is almost the ultimate instigator. And yes, every time that Roman and Rollins have fought in each other, Rollins has always won their match. Roman could change this. However, Roman Reigns has fought in Jacob Fatu on 2 occasions, and he has got Seth. Obafemi is in the front mirror for Roman Reigns right now. Seth Rollins is right now in front of him, but right behind Seth Rollins is Obafemi. And we don't have any other pay-per-views to set up. We only have Saturday night and Sunday night main events. So it looks like Roman could be getting the title taken off of him, which is common. It happens, around this time. But the plan should be for WWE is to take the titles off of Reigns, put the title on Rollins, have Rollins and Oba face each other. If Braun Breaker can break away from the Vision, or Logan Paul can heal up, or Bronson Reed can come back, then we really need to have Braun Breaker take the briefcase, cash in that night on Seth Rollins, protect Oba, cash in on Rollins, take the title from there. And it changes hands constantly, and it's happens before. I'm not going to get mad over the idea, but Braun Breaker should be world champion by this year or even next year if he decides to cash in and win the briefcase for that matter. So changing this grade to an A, that brings us to an overall B+ for this strong show. Even with the C+ letdown, you're always going to have letdowns in the show. This was an all right show. It was fucking great. It builds to SummerSlam, gave us some matches, right? Was it perfect? No, because everything meant something and built to something else. For a show that is likely to get outperformed in the ratings by, of course, the All-Star Home Run Derby, this was a good outing for the company that still needs to find a way to convince fans to travel to Minneapolis for SummerSlam. That is true. They really do. I know Wheezy Blonde's going there, so shout out to her. Go check her out. And with the big announcement already made yesterday, Survivor Series War Games will be in Houston. So I already know In the Clutch Entertainment will be there. Shout out to those guys too. Ross, especially. And Dub. Can't forget about Dub. But that was Monday Night Raw. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a like, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a stream. I will be back on Saturday to give you the SmackDown summary. And guys, we are building to SummerSlam. We are going, of course, to be live streaming, watching alone as SummerSlam unfolds. I will give you the predictions on the 30th. I'm making sure that's correct. I will be giving you the predictions on the 30th. I will be giving the watch-alongs on the 1st and the 2nd. I will take my vacation, and I will grab it by the balls, and I will fucking have a fun time. But until then, I will see you guys on Saturday. Peace.